My name is Ila. I play the piano. I have been playing for about 6 years now. I'm not sure. I think I've always kind of seen pianos around. I've seen people play it, and I always thought the music was just so beautiful, and I thought it was something that I wanted to be able to create as well. I am 14. I do. It's really fun to explore music for me. I've always liked music, whether it's playing or listening to other music. For this concert, I won a competition back in November. I placed first, and through that I was able to play with the Olympia Chamber Orchestra. To me, not just playing the notes is like really feeling the music, not just hitting the keys at the correct time, at the correct dynamics. It's following the rhythm, maybe bending it a little bit to create that music, to make it your own in a way, and kind of feeling that music as it flows in different ways, whether it's fast, slow. There's a kind of like feeling that the music creates. It's a bit difficult. It's definitely different from just playing by myself. The piece starts with me just playing by myself, so I set the initial tempo, and I try to stay as true to the tempo that we have marked. But once we start playing together, it's a lot of listening to the orchestra as well as listening to myself, and just kind of trying to see how well we align and if I need to slow down, speed up, or what I need to change to be able to blend with the orchestra. The piece begins off at a kind of slower tempo. It begins off with me just playing solo by myself, and eventually about a few lines in, the orchestra joins in, and it kind of wells up, and eventually we get to this part in the music where everything suddenly speeds up. It's a very fast, energetic portion of the music, and it's very consistent. It goes on for a long time, but eventually after it reaches the climax, it slows down, gradually slows down into the tempo that it was kind of at the beginning, and it goes back down to that bass line. The orchestra comes back in, and then the piece kind of slowly speeds up again, and it ends off on this very nice, sweet note. I think my favorite part are the parts that are super slow with the orchestra, because I find it really fun to kind of be able to play those slow notes with the orchestra and be able to really hear what I'm doing. Because when I'm playing the fast bits, I'm really focused on getting the notes right, getting the tempo right. But in these slower bits, I'm really able to appreciate the sound that everyone makes together. This piece, I feel it's way different from anything I've ever played. It's something way more contrast. The contrast is much more different from anything I've ever played, and I found that super fun to play. But also for the parts where it's very loud chords and I start to come in. And one really important part that the conductor really helps me with is the very end, where I kind of slow down. It kind of bends the rhythm at the end to create a more musical feeling. But it's also harder with an orchestra because you have to keep in time, and the conductor really helps finishing that piece out at a very together last note. Well, a lot of my piece is completely muscle memory. I do have to memorize some bits more than others because they're harder, and I just want to make sure I'm getting every note right. But I'm able to kind of watch him out of the corner of my eye, or sometimes even look at him right before I come in, because I have that muscle memory in my hands that I can trust myself to play the right notes while still looking at him. Outside of music, I like a lot of things in art. I draw a little bit, I listen to music. Outside of piano, I also do robotics after school. That's something that I really enjoy. It's with a few friends. And we create robots to solve challenges, at least for the part that's in season. And now we are able to do outreach in the community. We can show kids our robots and show them how they work. I mean, in school, I really enjoy science and math. It's it's not that it comes easy to me, but it's something that I find enjoyable because I'm able to solve that challenge and learn more about the world around me. And it's kind of neat to me how science and music are so connected, because science, there's a lot of science to like how instruments work, but there's also science to how music can affect people and how it can impact people's lives in a scientific way. I think artistic or creative. I think I'm someone who wants to be able to create something that I can show others and that I can share with people.